going on, everybody? What is going on, everybody? It is Friday, March 19th, 2021. Holy smokes. Y'all, I'm back. Boston friends. And I got somebody special, brother from another. He is somebody, y'all, that I've been excited to talk to. And it's crazy. Our schedules only work out for us to do stuff like this because you're killing it on the business side. Boss is killing it over here. We're owning our clocks.
Yep.
But folks, I want to introduce you to somebody who has been in my corner from the day that I met him and we started sharing dreams, hopes, and all those good stuff. Y'all, Mr. Coach Jason Young. What's up, bro?
What's going on, Lars? I just noticed that instead of your name, you wrote, "I give amazing virtual hugs."
Yes, sir. I do. Yes,
that is
sir.
Hilarious. How have you been? It's been a long time,
brother. You know, it's been a minute, man. It feels like we haven't like hung out since the top of 2020.
Yeah.
When we were finishing our certification and all that other craziness.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been too long. We need to fix that.
I know, right? And I tell you, so my wife, she's jumping in. She already put her name on the list and she's getting first vaccine soon.
Right.
And so she's like shaming me because I haven't put my name in the hat yet to get mine. So I'm like, she's like, I'm gonna be able to travel. Like, and I'm like, oh boy, here we go. Oh man, but brother, it's good to hear your voice. It's good to hang out with you for a little bit in this platform. But definitely, we're long overdue for a drive to Alabama or coming meeting halfway like we did almost a year ago, man.
Gosh, that blows my mind. Yeah, we both were wrapping up our coaching journey at the same time, and then we got together and just hung out, and it was a great day. A lot's changed since then. Hey, we were talking about some life change that we were about to go through, with moving and all of that kind of stuff. All that's well behind us now. So we need to catch up on a personal level after this.
Definitely. And with us, and I'll tell people, Jason is always motivating me on his health journey and the different things he's done. So I'm still trucking along, man. I'm still trucking one day at a time, brother. But I just want to talk to share with people what Jason, who are you? What do you do? And what makes you tick from day to day?
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on to talk about this. So I'm Jason Young. I am the founder of Ballistic Agency, and we are an e-commerce design agency. And what we do is we help remove the barriers between our clients and their customers so that they feel more comfortable selling online and do a better job, and everybody is happier. Their customers. And then, we have fully embraced the Zig Ziglar approach that you can get everything you want in life if you just help enough other people get what they want in life. And so that's our approach to it. We want to help as many people as possible, and in return, they will help us achieve our goals. So that's kind of where we are right now. And so just trying to get better before we get bigger. We're in the beginning part of the next phase of our business. And so we're really working on ourselves and really laying out and clarifying and really sharpening the mission, vision, values of the company, and then holding each other accountable day to day as we set up our tasks and our projects and the things that we work on, and comparing what we're working on to that mission, vision, values, and making sure that we're heading in the right direction, even on a daily basis. Because I am convinced, just like in a football game, don't look at the scoreboard. Look at the next play. What do you need to do for the next 15 seconds? The next play that's coming up. How do you dominate your opponent? And the opponent is not one of my competitors out there. It's myself. It's lazy me. It's chaotic me. It's the me that wants to live in the shadows and not step out there. So what can I do on the next play? And that's really the approach we've kind of taken in the last year.
Well, I tell you what, man, I'm always good for some quotables when I hang out with you. So getting better before getting bigger. I know you were on that journey, right? To really map out and really pare down on what felt right for you and your organization.
Right.
But I'm assuming that was one of the things that was kind of a catalyst that you filtered everything through. Where'd that come from?
Well, a lot of times the pain that you experience in daily life, the the pain of change has to be less than the pain that you're going through. And so we kind of got to that point where we were just maxed out, man. We were running hard and running tired, and we knew some things needed to change. So we took a look at our entire book of services and decided what really moved the needle for our clients and ourselves to achieve our own goals, and basically set out a plan for the next 6 months to get rid of all those services, help them find somebody else to take care of those things, so that we could focus on the things that really gave us energy, got the results that we wanted, and helped us achieve our own goals. Now going back to the better before bigger thing, I wish I could claim that. That's very wise, but I first heard it from Truett Cathy. So, founder of Chick-fil-A.
Love it.
And so I think early on in their growth phase, they were having a big board meeting and they were talking about, how are we going to get bigger, add more locations, all this kind of stuff. And he basically beat his fist on the table and said, nobody here has said how we're going to get better before we get bigger. Yeah. And that stuck in my head. It's been 15 years probably since I first heard that quote. So that's where that came from.
Yeah, I love that. And shout out to Chick-fil-A if you want to be a sponsor and friend of the show.
Yes. If you just want to send chicken nuggets, that's cool too.
I work for Nuggets. and so I love that because there was something you said there, right? Because as business owners, the allure and the glamorize the end results when you start making the dollars you want to make. But something you said there is the pain of change has to be less than the pain of what you're going through. And a lot of times people like, I don't see a way out of this. Well, it's one of those like, well, what's it going to cost you to stay in it?
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
And so, go ahead. No,
I was going to say that carries over to so many parts of our life. I mean, that's my health journey there too. I was diabetic, and I didn't want to be. I had no reason to be diabetic. I was not born diabetic. It was because of the way I was eating, the way I was living my life, and I just felt so terrible all the time and had no energy. And the ups and downs of energy and emotions and all that went through it. That caused me to the pain of change was then easier than living like that. So that was the catalyst for the change that I made, which I don't know if I've talked to you a whole lot about it, but intermittent fasting has been a life changer for me.
Yeah, no, and just the word fasting in and of itself is like a cuss word to me.
I get it, man. I like to eat.
No, man, and again, I'm one of those, but it's you're eating to live instead of living to eat. And I think that's the biggest change. And what resonated there for me is trying to figure out, and coaching, we always try to help our clients figure out what's keeping us from taking that first step. And when you think about business, when you think about life, what was it for you that you really saw as something that was preventing you from taking that first step?
Oh man, there's so many things. Probably the biggest thing though, Lawrence, has been not being intentional about what exactly I wanted in life. You and I, when we do a coaching call with somebody, we will start by asking, hey, what's your ideal outcome for this phone call or this Zoom meeting? That scales up to our lives. What's the ideal outcome for our life? And then we work backwards from there to try to get to where we want to be. And so I had not been intentional and specific enough about where I wanted to go and how I wanted to get there. And once I started doing that, man, all the pieces started falling into place. I'm not saying I've got it all together at all. Yeah. But man, I'm so much further down the road on the journey that I want to be taking than I was even a year ago.
And I think that just the first step, right, in identifying just something like what is preventing just motion, right? And I think so often we try to get it perfect, and that it keeps us from moving, period.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And so like helping people get over that mindset of perfection, which prevents action. Like what was it for you?
Well, I heard somebody say that the enemy of done is perfection, and to me, that was a mind flip for me. I was just thinking in a completely different way. But I wanted things to be so perfect in such a certain way that I wasn't even getting started. I wasn't even on step one because I just didn't feel like it was going to turn out exactly like I wanted it to.
Mm-hmm.
And so once you kind of give up that expectation that things are that they have to be perfect, then you're able to move on and take that first step. And then you're not going to take step two without taking step one. And the steps become easier and easier as you go along. If you can just let go of the perfection mentality and just take step one.
Man. And again, it's Coach Mel, somebody who, I bring on anytime I want to hit people in the head with some good stuff. She's always talking about just getting going and motivating yourself, and particularly around intentionality and just taking a specific action, right? It's just not all willy-nilly. And I'm gonna wing it. all right, that could be just as harmful as taking no action, but being specific and being intentional. And I think that's what made us as a friendship kind of make sense, is that we were like, anytime we engage with each other in relationship, we were like, hey, what are we here for? Right? What are the outcomes you want? And I never forget, Jason. God, I never forget. You busted my head to the values white meat, man. And you was like, so how is that serving your values? And I was like, no, like, what has that done for you? Because it came from such an authentic place that I was like, there's no way that Powerful Question book had that one available to ask somebody. But when you engage with people, what makes values and that type of thing so important for folks to wrap their minds and their hearts around?
Man, I operate off of the values being the filter that stands between me and all of the opportunities that I have in front of me. And a lot of opportunities that are presented to each of us every day are just not worth our time. And so if I run all these opportunities and things I could do or quote unquote should do, it really filters out the things that don't serve the greater goal, the vision, really. So it's kind of like the values are what keep things from getting your mission off of track. And so just trying to really lay out and be specific about what my values are. And if something doesn't serve those values, then it doesn't make it to me. Like they're blocking for me so that I can run towards the end zone. Just kind of seeing my values as the filter that everything has to pass through has made it so much easier to do things like stop spending hours each day on social media and scrolling the internet and replying to every single email that comes my way, or laboring over every single thing that's presented in front of me. The values are what keep me on track. So if you can lay out your values, even more than your mission, lay out your values first. What's really important to you? And that helps you make decisions. Man, you can make lightning fast decisions if you know whether it serves one of your values or not.
Yeah, you hitting them with the good stuff, man. And look, folks, y'all, Jason, you have a Cash App because they need to pay you for what you're dropping today, man. No. But you just said it. That's keys to the city. And my wife, she's like, I'm a values broken record to her. She's like, shut it up about the values again. But like,
it's so important.
It's so important because I think it's the reason why I filtered out some things that weren't in alignment with where I wanted to go, where this thing wanted to go again. And I was actively fighting against what I knew I should be doing because it was an opportunity. And so for a lot of people out there, how do you give yourself permission to align?
Oh, lots of trial and error. I mean, I don't really know another way to do it. I mean, sometimes you just have to take the first step, and it kind of goes back to that pain mentality. I don't want to keep living this way in this certain area of my life. And so I've decided that you got to take that first step, like we were talking about a minute ago. But the thing that sticks out to me in my head, and you might want to write this one down because it changed me. Motion is lotion, and it will make you feel better to just do something in that area of your life where you're having some pain, to get things going and take that first step. But I mean, you just got to give yourself permission based on what you know is important to you and the pain that you're feeling or the dissatisfaction that you're feeling, or just knowing that you're missing the mark. I mean, a lot of times, hey, this is not the trajectory I want to be on. How do I fix it? Just taking time to stop. And Lawrence, if I could leave your listeners with one other thing, take time to think. Most people stay engaged so much in so many other things that are distracting them from just stopping and thinking. So having that time to stop and think and meditate and plan and really consider what's important to you and where you want to go and who is going to be a part of that journey with you. When you figure out your mission, vision, values, there are lots of good things that your values are going to filter out, but they don't serve the purpose of where you want to go. And so saying no to those people and things and activities, it's okay. Somebody else that does serve their mission and purpose in life. So just work on your values, take time to stop and think, and take that first step, because motion is lotion.
Motion is lotion. So hopefully I know it's getting summertime again, and I don't know if you use baby oil or lotion, but you need to put it on so you can get in motion. You're gonna slide into that next opportunity based on what you use. But I tell you what, it makes so much basic sense that it hurts.
Right.
That we sometimes stop ourselves from building muscles around just that of just
right.
going, of just action. And I've been seeing it more and more, particularly around these strategic thinkers, in these strategy sessions and all the rest of these things. But there's never a part of the process that says, okay, what are we going to try first? And just do it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because you go to anybody who does any researchers and all the rest of it, they stay in theory phase.
Right.
But somebody has to take the time to go research and get some reps, collect data so that we can actually say, hey, where do we need to adjust that? And I believe, like you said, the filter of your values tells you what to try or what feels right. But then at some point, you got to say, hey, there's some refinement that needs to happen as we evolve. Right. Because like you said, the pain of change needs to be less than where we are. And if we say, you know what, my values are this, but you're not allowing yourself to move forward but once you collect data, say, hey, that hurt.
Right.
Okay, let's stop doing it and release yourself to continue collecting data. What has that done for your business to put this type of stuff into practice?
Well, it has, more than anything, I would love to point to revenue and profitability and, job satisfaction and all that kind of stuff, which I can. The most important of those things, though, it has unified our team. Everyone knowing what's important, how we're going to get there, and we're going to fail along the way. We're going to try some stuff that's not going to work, and that's okay. But sometimes you just need to come up with a list of 20 or 30 different things that you could try and then just start knocking them off the list. But when you start having a target to aim at and you're all working at it together, the sense of unity and pride that is built amongst a team and the synergy you get in working towards a common goal, it literally can change the trajectory of your business.
Yeah, I love that. And Coach Mel is causing trouble. Because she, asking about being honest with yourself and whether or not there are some things you have to ditch as it pertains to old broken value systems. And what experience do you have in those areas, Jason, that have there been some things you had to ditch to get to where you are, to where you can actually filter the right stuff?
Yeah, I think everybody's had to make those sacrifices along the way. But really, when I'm faced with something like that, I try to look at it. I'll weigh two things. What is the absolute worst thing that could happen if I do that? If I get rid of that thing or person or whatever in my life, and then what's the best thing, the best possible outcome from making that decision, and then I start thinking about which one is more likely. 9 times out of 10, it's the better thing is more likely to happen than the worst possible outcome. So that's, yeah, I think everybody has to make some of those decisions in their life. We've all done it. It's just being more intentional about it.
Yeah. And I think, particularly the best and the worst, kind of that kind of thing, and the pros and cons lists and all the rest of those things, but getting to a point where we're making a decision with the best information we have available. And the one thing that I can attest to of why I didn't take on this other opportunity that was not in alignment is because where I was going, the value that I was trying to hold on to that thing with was no longer applicable. And so it actually would have harmed me to stay there. Then it would have helped and supported where I was going. And that value of family being a new value to actually activate things in my life was something to listen to my wife, to pull her in as, hey, she's a business partner by virtue of being in this household, whether she wants to be or not. She's like, buddy, that has nothing to do with what we're doing. And so just to be able to listen or be at the place kicking and screaming, listening, it still was there, and the voices were still there. And so when I think about that as a part of the process, who do you have in your corner that you pull in from time to time as a mentor and advisor?
Besides you?
Yes, man.
You're definitely on that list, but yeah, there's several people. A lot of times we overlook the obvious. Our spouse or significant other knows us better than anybody else. Probably knows us better than ourselves, because they have that. It's amazing how women have that ability over a man. They know you better than you know yourself. So my wife would definitely be one of those people. And actually, her father, I am so blessed with my in-laws. He is one of the most wise men that I know. But then also at a more practical level, I have a friend who he started a company just like mine, but he did it about 3 to 5 years before I did. And so he's a little further down the street than I am. And he can tell me where the potholes are and what's going through my mind and what my fears are at the moment. And but then also, a little bit more theoretically too, there's lots of wisdom in books. There are people that have mentored me without even saying, they're not even alive and they've mentored me. So there's lots of those people too.
I tell you what, I always joke, but I'm dead serious. I've yet to make it through any of the leadership books and any of the stuff, because I'll get through a chapter and I go start doing based on the wisdom described in a chapter. And like, man, that was just the intro. It was like, I'm still on the intro 2 years later. But you're totally right. It's like, I have mentors I've never met. And again, when you get out of your own head about what the mentor means or coach or trainer means, and you say, you know what, I'm going to open myself to knowledge, and then I'm going to do something with it. It changes the game for you of how you absorb content and what you use. And I love that again, 15 years ago, you're still eating on a Truett Cathy quote. And applying it is the game changer, right? It's one thing. And again, the knowing doing gap of one of the best, written in 2003, but literally you could repackage it with a 2021 copyright, because of people. It's just like, what to do, but why aren't you doing it? And I would say as a takeaway, Jason, like one thing you would coach anybody around from going from just where they are to just taking a step, what would you ask?
What would I ask? Like, what do you mean? What do you mean?
what would you ask them? Like, what's like prevent them? Like, what would you tell them to do? How about that?
Okay.
I'm not gonna ask him anything. I want
Right.
I want you to give him Coach J. Coach J's advice that Cash App, put Cash App in the comments so you can get paid on this one.
Yeah, right. I'm just one beggar telling other beggars where I found bread, man.
I love it.
So yeah, man, really, so much of life is the things that hold us back are fear based. And so trying to pinpoint that exact fear, what is the fear? What's the worst possible outcome? What, and is that permanent? If you make a mistake here, is that permanent? No. I mean, 99.9% of the time, we can go back and correct our mistakes in life and in decisions and in business and in relationships and all of that. Yeah, you might mess up. You really might. But it's going to be okay. I promise. It'll be okay. And just being able to let go of that perfection, that it just has to be so, and that you're not going to do anything because you're scared it's not going to be right. Pinpoint that fear, whatever it is, and then give yourself permission to try and fail, and run through a list of 20 or 30 different things that you might need to do to get to take that first step. But just letting go of the perfection and letting go of the idea that what you're about to do could crash your life and it's completely irreparable. That's just not true in life. Everybody understands we all make mistakes, and you don't have to live with that expectation around your life.
Man, no, I was muted on purpose because I would have been interrupting you while you was doing that. No, and buddy, I tell you what, man, I definitely appreciate that, right, as a call out, because so many times we make things true in our lives that shouldn't be there. And is it permanent? Is it permanent? And I would tell people, get out of your head around how much validity you're placing on what's happening in the present time. And one thing that I love that I learned through a coaching modality as a contract coach is, the power of acceptance, but then putting things in context is really not catastrophizing or overestimating things. And because we're creative beings, we have this tendency to morph it into a whole catastrophe. It's like, no, reel it in, call it for what it is, label it, right? So you can call reference to it,
right?
But then flip it into that, reframe into that usable data.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah. So you're exactly right. And I want to touch on something you just said. So somebody said throughout our coaching journey, I can't remember who it was or if it was in one of the books that we were reading together, but somebody said we have the most creative horror fiction writer ever living inside of our head, telling us that everything is going to just completely ruin us.
Yep.
And it's not true at all. It's not true at all. No. We've got that's just completely meaningless, pointless, doesn't help us at all. And we have to be able to acknowledge that and put that off, get that out of our head.
I love it, man. So I just want to say thank you for coming to hang out with me for a few minutes on this Friday. Hopefully folks are going into lunch or whatever you're doing right now. And hopefully we enjoyed, and I know Coach J dropped some nuggets on my end that I haven't even heard before. Hey, and so he's like dropping new content on me, y'all.
These are the notes I took just listening to you. So never stop learning.
That's my guy. And so Jake, I don't want to hoard you. That's the reason why I created this platform, because I want other amazing folks to be introduced to you. But if you're open to connections, how can folks connect with you and follow what you're doing?
Yeah, so you can find me at ballisticagency.com, and you can reach out to me there. And if you just want to connect, it doesn't have to be business oriented at all. It doesn't have to be related to the work that we do. If you just want to connect, you can also find me on LinkedIn, Jason Young, and just look for my beautiful mug.
Well, thank you so much, Jason, for again coming to hang out with me, man. And we're gonna get together real soon. Hang tight with me, everyone. Continue to be well. Continue to mask up. And if you're available to get your vaccination, according to my wife, you better get your vaccination, or else you'll be like me and won't be able to travel.
Don't upset Japri, please don't.
Not at all, man. I'm getting on the list soon, buddy. All right, y'all. Until next time, be well, and I'll see you soon.
Bye.